Hey, it's Mazzy. Let's talk about artwork covers. I've done a number of videos on covers, photographer, features, illustrators, designers, some monographs of specific artists. And I did a version of this in the past, but I want to update it. This is artists who've done their own cover art, artists who are painters now, not photographers, just painters and illustrators. And I got inspired yet again around Christmas time getting this book. This is a book, Sun Ra Art on Saturn. If you know the avant-garde out there, jazz artists, a little free jazz, a little somewhat popish at times. There's so many, depending on which album you grab of Sun Ra's, there's so much diversity in the music and some more accessible than others. But over the years, they used to do a lot of private presses and sell at their shows, and a lot of the album covers were designed by Sun Ra and some of the members. They would literally sit around and draw on each cover, so they're very collectible now. I don't have any of the originals. I've never got into collecting Sun Ra covers, but this is the album cover art of Sun Ra's Saturn label. This compiles an amazing collection. Some are collage-like, some are literally drawn with pen and ink and markers and crayons in some cases. And it's just a fantastic collection. I mean, some are manipulated images, photographs, but I just love the diversity of this collection, this book, and artwork. I think this would be a great museum show. But highly recommended book, Sun Ra Art on Saturn, published in Seattle, actually. The only CD I'm going to start with, I don't have on vinyl, is David Bowie's Outside, obviously working with a lot of visual artists over the years. And this is a self-portrait for this album, Outside. Then one of my favorites, one of my favorite albums of hers is Fiona Apple. And this is the Idler Wheel, elongated title. But look how intricate this is. This has a pop and a little bit of a jazzy feel to her singing and her playing. And it's amongst my favorite. I think Extraordinary Machine might be my favorite, but I love everything she's done. What, only 5 albums, I think? 6, 5? But Fiona Apple, fantastic illustration there. The great cover by Christine McVie. Now, she wasn't officially in the band yet when she painted this. This is 1970. She does play a little bit on this record, but she did the cover, and I know she just passed away in the last few months. But what a great painting. What a great illustration. I just love this. Kiln House. This is the Danny Kirwan years, and Jeremy Spencer, of course. What a fantastic album, 1970, Fleetwood Mac. Wayne Coyne has done several covers, many covers, in fact, and has a big part of the visualization of the Flaming Lips. And what an artist, too. But they're a great visual band. Their covers are very surreal, psychedelic, very futuristic. I just love his visualizations, and a lot of times, obviously, they coincide with the various kind of splatter vinyl. I'm not at all in on colored vinyl. I'm not against it, but I just love their artwork, and sometimes I want to just pick up their album just because of the artwork. This is great having a Volume 1 Greatest Hits, and of course, this is probably their biggest seller and most infamous, Yoshima Battles the Pink Robots, and a fantastic artwork. Just really beautiful, surreal psychedelia there. Another one which seems so simple but is stunning is Courtney Barnett, and from Australia, folk punk a little bit, and her records are wonderful, and she's got a great sound, and she basically, I think, almost drew this, just threw it off in a little bit on a piece of paper and sketched it out and didn't expect it. I think she actually got nominated for some art awards for this cover, and I think it's really wonderful. Courtney Barnett, Australian artist. One of the early artists that I grew up with that I knew right away that did his own covers, and that obviously is Cat Stevens. Obviously T for the Tillerman and T's in the Firecat. What a great painter, illustrator. He's done children's books, and in fact, one of his last records, The Laughing Apple, it goes to the story and the music as well. And he illustrates every page. So this is essentially like a children's book. And it's a fantastic record. His guitar playing is still has that great acoustic guitar playing. It's also co-produced with Paul Samuel Smith, who did all those early folk hit albums, Teaser and the Firecat, and with him back in the 1970s. They've been re-teaming lately and done a wonderful, wonderful series of records. So love this record as well and his illustrations. This is a cover designed, created by Kim Gordon of Sonic Youth. And this is a box set with a series of elements. And this is Yoko, Kim, Thurston. And it's Yoko Ono, Thurston Moore, and Kim Gordon. A collaboration of the three of them. This particular one's a signed copy, 600 copies of this in this box set. So Kim Gordon from Sonic Youth, this collaboration with Thurston Moore and Yoko Ono. Now, of course, this is 1952 illustration John Lennon did at age 11, and the series of illustrations put together for Walls and Bridges. So he took something from the past and made this fantastic cover, John Lennon, Walls and Bridges. Now, Bob Dylan's been a painter for a long time, and this is the album that people love to hate or hate to love, depending on your viewpoint. I love this from the get-go. I know the famous Greil Marcus Rolling Stone review. I'm paraphrasing, what the fuck is this shit? Or what the fuck, or what is this shit? Self-Portrait, kind of a cool record. I think it got some new love when the bootleg series came out. Of course, two different self-portraits of Bob Dylan. And Bob Dylan obviously has been a painter for many years and has gallery works and is also a sculptor and does metal work and welding. So self-portrait by Bob Dylan. And now one of the other Beatles, Paul McCartney. Painter, has done a lot of artwork on his own and most recently has used his paintings on some albums I'll get to in a minute here. But I want to start out with this, Twin Freaks. This is a mashup album, and this was produced by Freelance Hellraiser, who took these stems, I assume, and did various mashups and edits and songs, famous songs like Really Love You, Long-Haired Lady, Dark Room, Temporary Secretary, Mumbo, and others, and did mashups basically. And this is a really cool DJ project in a way, and a mashup, and I love this. I mean, this didn't get a lot of exposure, but Paul McCartney's artwork obviously graced the cover, and that's really a nice part of it. Look at this. These are beautiful, I think. There you go. Paul McCartney, Twin Freaks. This is the Fireman, Electric Arguments. This is another collaboration with Youth. This is the third of the three Fireman records, and this is the most accessible. Not that the first two weren't. The first two were more ambient, electronic mood records, which are really kind of cool records. And I don't think they've come out on vinyl. I wish they would. But obviously, this one is more song-based. I think they did a song a day. And this is, to me, one of my favorite McCartney records of the last quarter century. It's fantastic. I think if it was marketed as a McCartney album, it probably would have done better. And I think would have really done well. I know it has a cult status, but it's great songs, great production, and of course the artwork is just really beautiful, really fits it. And of course, more recently in the last couple of years, Egypt Station, where he took an existing painting and used it for this cover art. And I think this is gorgeous. I just love this album cover. So it's Paul McCartney, 3 albums that he did the cover. Next, we got Stone Roses cover. This is John Squire, who's a guitar player in the band, obviously totally influenced by Jackson Pollock. But again, a really cool album cover. Amazing record of jangle pop, a band from Manchester, kind of neo-psychedelic, post-psychedelic work. And so that is the Stone Roses from Manchester, and this great kind of painterly splatter cover a la Jackson Pollock. One of my personal favorites is Don Van Vliet, otherwise known as Captain Beefheart. Did a series of amazing paintings. Has an entire fine art career. I saw a show in New York back in the 80s of his work. dock of the radar station. And of course, this beautiful from this Rhino box set. How beautiful is that, right? There you go. Captain Beefheart, Don Van Vliet, artist extraordinaire. This is who I'm ending with here. And she's so prolific and has done a lot more than just these three. And that's Joni Mitchell. I mean, she does some of the most amazing self-portraits. We have clouds. Look at this beautiful, beautiful self-portrait cover art. Joni Mitchell. This is the self-titled Joni Mitchell album. Very watercolor illustrated, beautiful cover. And another self-portrait album that I really like is Wild Things Run Fast. I could have picked, 5 more covers to add to the collection, but Joni Mitchell, there you go. So thanks for watching. Just some artists who are painters, and created some amazing and iconic album covers. Thanks for watching. Mazzy loves you.